Here's what I'm going to show you how I made today. These are little ponytail holders or pigtails. They're made out of jeans material, and I'm going to show you how I made these. Now the first thing I do to make these ponytail holders is I cut a piece of material. This is 6 inches wide by 17 inches in length. Then I take my ruler, and I need this little box, if you can see that. It's just a square right in the center. So what it is it's 2.5 inches in on each side. And I just make a line, and then I do the same thing on the other side. I come in 2.5 inches and make another line. Okay, so then you can see there that I have a line right in the center of the material. Now what you want to do is start on one end, put your ruler there, and you want to make a line widthwise every 3/4 inches. So I just take my chalk and go up. I try to skip that center hole if I can. I'll try to make this a little darker so you're able to see them. And again, 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch, and I'm going to do this all the way across my material. Okay, I think you get the idea, and I'll be back as soon as I get that finished. Now I have that marked all the way across my material. You can see my lines. Now you do not have to do that to the second piece, for the second ponytail holder, if you're going to make 2 of them. And I always make 2. Okay, you want to just lay one on top of the other. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to my sewing machine, and I'm just going to sew a line down the center just so everything stays together. So we'll move over to the sewing machine. Now what I want to do is I want to sew down these 2 center lines, and I want to sew that with a basting stitch. So I went to my longest stitch length, which is a 5.0, and I'm just going to sew down both of these lines, just so it holds both of these materials together. Okay, we've got that finished. And I used a light color that is going to be removed, but I did that just so when I have to cut up these lines, I know exactly where I need to stop. Now the next step would be I take my pinking shears and I trim all around the perimeter of this material, and this jeans material is very thick, so I'm going to have to do this around each piece. So just go ahead and give that a cut. I've already done one side, now I'll just cut the other one. If you have the rotary cutter that has this blade, this would make this step even faster. But I don't have one of those, and I'll just use my good old trusty pinking shears. So I think you kind of get the idea where we're going here. Okay, now I've used my pinking shears and I've pinked around all 4 sides. Now what I'm going to do, as you can see here, is I'm starting to just trim up to that sewing line on that 3/4 inch line that we marked. So I'm just cutting all the way up. And I'm going to do this all the way down this side And then I'll turn it around and I'll do the same thing starting here on this side. Again, just up to that cutting line. So we'll be cutting just up to the cutting line on both sides. Now I have this trimmed down both sides, all the way down. And I have removed my 2 basting stitches that I put in there. And you can just pull these apart. Now you have 2 of these ready to be sewed. Now the next step would be I buy the Goody little hair elastics. This is the heaviest ones I have found. And they're the sturdiest and the tightest elastics, so those are the ones that I use. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to start putting it through here, through our elastic like this. And then we're going to start sewing it around here, pushing it forward and just keep sewing this. Now this gets a little tedious, but just go slow, take your time, and you'll see in no time you'll have this finished. Now we'll move over to the sewing machine and get this started, and make sure that when you start to sew that your 2 little ends here are on the outside of your elastic. Okay, now here's what we're going to try to accomplish here. What we're going to do is we're going to put the first 2 through the rubber band, fold this over, and we're going to start sewing these around the rubber band. Now what I've done is I've put my zipper foot on the machine and I'm sewing in the center of it. You want to be close to the rubber band, but not so close that the rubber band can't slide. I'm also using my needle down position. And we'll go ahead and we'll start doing a couple of these. And what you need is you need to be that to be as close to that rubber band as possible. So it takes a little fiddling. You got to get things lined up. And you have to stretch your rubber band also. So let me get one of these sewed and it'll be easier to show you. Okay, now get the next one in. The next 2 in the rubber band. You can see they're right down the center. Now if you start pulling on your rubber band as you're sewing, it'll give you like a straight line there, and it'll be easier for you to get things lined up. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way here so you can see what's going on. But as you can see there, now the next 2 are lined up, and sometimes I even pull it in the front also. Oops. Don't seem to be moving here. There we go. Okay, so again, I'll pull that at the bottom and at the top. Everything's lined up. Those all look even. So I will do the next couple here. Okay, then when you get to that point, just pull your rubber band around. Slip in the next few of them. Like I said, it takes a little fiddling, but it's doable. And this actually is probably the heaviest fabric you'll ever use. That's this jean material. Okay, so those lined up nice. Pull it in the front a little bit. So the next ones. Okay, now I'll go ahead and get around to the other end and show you how to finish this off. Okay, I'm getting close to the end, and as you can see, I'm pretty much running out of this rubber band, and what you have to do is you just got to work this around. Just stretch it up there and push it up to the rubber band. Okay, and now I've got plenty of room here to finish this off. Okay, and then there's just one more step. And that's, I'm going to take this, pull that back down, and I'm going to overlap the beginning stitch and the ending stitch a little bit, just so when you're wearing this, there's no gaping hole there with the elastic showing. Okay, and give it a good back stitch there so nothing comes apart. Okay, let me get this off of here. Here they are, all finished. You can leave them like this. Now on the regular material with just the pink edge, that's pretty much the way they'll stay. But I think with this jean material, if I go ahead and throw that in the washer and dryer, I think they ought to fluff out and be really cute. I took these down and put them in the washing machine with some jeans and then put them in the dryer, and here's how they turned out. I think they came out really cute. I have written directions on my blog if you'd like to pop over there and get a copy. Thank you. I hope you like them. Bye-bye.